You've been taught to worship something that's destroying you. Every 4 years you stand in line, you cast your vote, you feel powerful for exactly 3 seconds, then you go home and nothing changes. The prices still rise, the wars still happen, the rich still get richer, and you still feel powerless, because you are. Last week, Marcus texted me at midnight. Why do I feel more trapped in a free country than my grandfather did under a dictator? His grandfather knew who the enemy was, could see the chains, but Marcus, he votes, he protests, he posts, he participates in every ritual of freedom, and feels more helpless than ever. Stop. That feeling you just had, that recognition, hold on to it. There's a reason for this. A reason so dangerous that 2,400 years ago, a man was executed for teaching it. But before I reveal who that man was and why his death matters to your life right now, you need to understand something about yourself. What if I told you democracy isn't broken? What if it's working exactly as designed? Not to free you, but to pacify you. See, there's a difference between having power and feeling like you have power. One changes your life, the other just changes your mood. Right now, you're about to discover why every democracy in history has collapsed the same way, why yours is following the exact same pattern, and why the man who predicted all of this was killed for revealing it. But here's what's going to mess with your head. Once you see this pattern, you'll spot it everywhere. In your workplace, your relationships, even in how you control yourself. Actually, wait. Before I explain that pattern, you need to know what happened to Marcus after he sent that text, because his story proves everything I'm about to share. Your entire worldview is about to shatter. Plato watched democracy murder his teacher. Socrates was voted to death by regular people, by free citizens, by democracy. And that's when Plato realized the horrifying truth about democracy. It's not government by the people. It's government by whoever controls the people. Democracy doesn't eliminate masters. It just makes them invisible. Think about it. In a dictatorship, you know who's oppressing you. You can point to the tyrant. You can rebel against the face of power. But in democracy, you oppress yourself. You vote for your own cage. You cheer for your own chains. You attack anyone who questions the system because the system has become your identity. Holy shit, right? You felt that uncomfortable twist in your stomach. That's your old self starting to die. Plato called this the democratic soul. And once you recognize it, you'll see why you've been sleepwalking through a nightmare dressed as a dream. If this is already hitting different than every political video you've watched, you know what to do? Hit subscribe, because we're just scratching the surface of what Plato discovered. Here's what they never taught you in school about Plato's Republic. He ranked 5 types of government from best to worst. Guess where democracy ranked? Second to last, just above tyranny. Why? Because democracy is tyranny's mother. Actually, let me tell you about James first. James owns 3 companies now. 10 years ago, he was like you, voting, hoping, believing. Then he read what I'm sharing with you, and everything changed. But there's something about James's transformation that I can't tell you yet. You need more context first. Plato saw the pattern every time. Democracy creates chaos. Chaos creates fear. Fear creates a hunger for order. And that hunger births a tyrant who promises to fix everything. Sound familiar? Look at every democracy that became a dictatorship. The same script, every single time. But here's the twist that will haunt you. Plato wasn't just talking about governments. He was exposing how power really works. In your office, there's no democracy. There's a CEO. In your home, parents rule children. In nature, the strong dominate the weak. Democracy is the only place where we pretend equality exists. And that pretense, that's what makes it so dangerous. Because when you believe you're free, you stop looking for your chains. You have permission to see through this. You have permission to admit what you've always suspected. Most people never will. But you're not most people, are you? Let me show you what happens to people who understand this truth versus those who don't. The ones who don't, they spend their lives angry at politicians, tweeting their frustration, voting harder, believing that this time will be different. They age faster. They die confused. They pass their powerlessness to their children like a cursed inheritance. But the ones who see through the illusion, Remember James, the one with 3 companies? He hasn't voted in 10 years. Not because he's apathetic, because he's building real power while others build protest signs. I met another man, Thomas, still believes voting matters. He's on his 5th therapist and 3rd antidepressant. One transcended the system, the other is being crushed by it. The only difference? One of them learned what I'm about to show you. But wait, there's something else about democratic collapse that Plato discovered. Something that explains why you feel so anxious all the time. Stop scrolling. This next part is why you clicked on this video. Plato identified 5 types of people in democracy. Which one are you? The democratic man believes all desires are equal. Pizza and philosophy, Netflix and knowledge. Everything's valid, so nothing matters. This is 90% of people. Actually, pause. Do you feel exposed right now? Like I'm reading your diary? Good. That means this is working. The oligarchic soul hoards resources while preaching equality. Says money doesn't matter while obsessing over it. Every millionaire Democrat, every working-class Republican, the timocratic character craves honor and recognition, would rather be famous for being wrong than unknown for being right. Every influencer, every politician, the tyrannical nature, enslaved to a single desire. The addict, the fanatic, the one who destroys everything for one thing. And finally, the philosophical soul, sees through all of it, participates without believing, plays the game while knowing it's rigged. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You're probably the first one, the democratic man, treating all choices as equal because you've been programmed to believe discrimination is evil. But discrimination is intelligence. Knowing pizza isn't philosophy. Understanding that not all opinions matter. Recognizing that equality is a myth sold to keep you docile. The moment you admit this, you begin your transformation. You're crossing a line right now. You can feel it. Most people would have clicked away by now, but you're still here. Because deep down, you've always known this was true. Remember Marcus from the beginning? The one who texted me at midnight? Here's what he did after our conversation. He stopped watching the news, stopped arguing online, stopped voting, started building, started creating, started ruling his own life like the kingdom it is. 6 months later, he texted me again. I finally feel free. So what do you do with this forbidden knowledge? First, you stop feeling guilty about seeing through the system. Your ability to recognize the performance isn't cynicism, it's clarity. You're allowed to protect yourself from mass stupidity. You're allowed to build power while others beg for it. You're allowed to see democracy for what it is, a sedative, not a solution. Second, you stop wasting energy on political theater. Every minute you spend arguing about democracy is a minute you're not building actual power. Third, you embrace what Plato called the noble lie. Play along with democracy in public, but in private, structure your life like a kingdom. You become the philosopher king of your own existence. Your body? That's not a democracy. You dictate what it eats. Your mind? Not a democracy. You control what it consumes. Your time? Not a democracy. You rule how it's spent. Your circle? Not a democracy. You choose who enters. While everyone else is voting for change, you're creating it. While they're protesting for power, you're building it. While they're demanding equality, you're developing excellence. You want to know the ultimate irony? Actually, before I tell you this irony, comment below. What type of soul are you? Democratic, oligarchic, or are you ready to become philosophical? I'm genuinely curious which one resonated. The people who understand democracy is a hoax become the only ones with actual democratic power, because they're the ones who accumulate enough resources, influence, and wisdom to actually matter when decisions get made. Everyone else just gets a participation trophy called a vote. You're becoming dangerous right now, not to others, but to the system that depends on your blindness. Right now, you're standing at the same crossroads where Socrates stood. You can take the hemlock of truth and let your illusions die, or you can return to the cave, pretending shadows on the wall are reality. But here's what Plato knew that changes everything. Once you've seen the sunlight, the shadows never look real again. You'll sit in conversations where people rage about politics, and you'll see children fighting over toys. You'll watch the news and you'll see theater designed to exhaust you. You'll hear every vote matters, And you'll know that's exactly what someone with actual votes would want you to believe. This knowledge will isolate you. It will also liberate you. Because while everyone else is trying to change a system designed to resist change, you'll be building something real, something yours, something that no vote can take away. You're not the same person who started watching this. You can't be, because now you know what most people will die without ever understanding. If you're ready to stop being ruled by the mob's stupidity, if you're tired of pretending your opinion matters to people who don't care, if you want to learn how the philosophical souls throughout history built power while everyone else built protest signs, subscribe to this channel. Not because I want followers, but because you deserve to follow someone who won't lie to you about how power actually works. Hit the like button if this just changed how you see everything, not for the algorithm, but as a signal to yourself that you're ready for this level of truth. The notification bell isn't just a button. It's your declaration that you're ready to see reality without the democratic filter. Most people will watch this and go back to sleep, but you're not most people, are you? You're the one who's been waiting for someone to finally say what you've always suspected. The emperor has no clothes. Democracy has no power. And you have more potential than any vote could ever give you. Welcome to the real revolution, the one that happens in your mind first, then in your life, and finally in a world that never saw you coming. Because you were too busy becoming dangerous to waste time being democratic. Remember Marcus, James? They're real, they're thriving, they're free. And now you know why. The question isn't whether democracy is a hoax. The question is, what are you going to do now that you know? Comment below. Tell me what type of soul you discovered you are. Tell me what you're going to stop wasting energy on. Tell me what kingdom you're about to build. Because your transformation starts the moment you admit the truth. And the truth, you've always known it. I just gave you permission to say it out loud.